Hello friends, welcome to Intuites.
Let's begin the class.
Hope I'm audible, right? Yeah. So, any questions from the yesterday class? Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
No.
So let's continue a few things again from the list itself. Okay. So now removing elements we saw yesterday, right? Like to the pop method. Okay. So the problem in the pop method is like either if you not give the index number in the pop, then it will remove which element?
The index which is mentioned.
I'm saying if you not mention any index, then which element it will be deleted?
The last element.
The
Last element in the list, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So here the problem is either we can delete to the index or it will remove the last element on the index. Okay. Suppose you want to remove any individual element or the number of elements, like 5 elements I want to remove. All these things is quite impossible through the pop. Okay. So what does that mean? Let me give an example. So let's take I have a student list where I'm keeping. Let's take the roll numbers or the registration number of the students, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so here the requirement is let's take I want to delete the first 7 students or 7 students on the roll number I want to delete it. So there are two ways to do that in this case. Okay, first is to the del keyword. Okay, and second is to the remove method for the list. Okay, there are two ways to we can do it this one. Okay. First is your del keyword and last one is the remove from the list. So let's see the first one, delete. So let's say del. Okay. Then I will write my student underscore list. Then I can give a range here. Okay. So last seven means how I will do it. What the index I will put it here. On the student list, I have 10 elements. Last 7 entered one, which I want to remove. How I will do here in this case. Just think.
You want last 7. That
Or
means you don't
7.
want.
Yeah. You can say the 7 students I want to delete.
It's 2 to 10 index.
I'm saying the last in the sense this 7, right? I want to delete. Don't you think so?
It's 3 to 9.
3 to 9 and other if I say to the negative index, if I say can to do like this -7 and nothing possible, right? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. -7 to end. I'm giving. There is nothing means it will go till end of the string, right? Did you guys practice the indexing?
Yes, yes.
This makes sense? This one?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's execute this. It's done. Now let's like to print now list after the deletion. Data structure. Sorry, print my student list. Okay, so this is the one way we can delete it. See what are the value I'm getting? 1, 2, 3, 1. It makes sense. First part is clear to the del keyword. Convenient way. Okay.
Yeah, Samir,
And
can we
but
give the index value like here in this case 4 to 3 to 9? Is it
now you
possible to
can
give? Yeah.
I can give it, but I'm saying the last 7 elements, so better to go with the
Yeah.
negative index.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
this a
We can
better
give this way
approach?
also.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
That approach also will work. No worries on that.
Okay.
Okay, so this is your first approach to your del keyword. And now I am discussing about your remove. Okay, so the same way what I can do here in this case is student underscore list dot remove. Okay, in this case, I want to remove the last 7 elements. How I will do it here in this case? Same thing we can do. Just
Yes.
think here also the index. How we will do it? Means same -7.
-7. It's giving an error. Is it because it is not in the square bracket?
Now let's see, and then the structure here. Oh, sorry. I'm mistake. Sorry. So here in this case, the remove. Oh, sorry. Remove will not work with the range. Remove is the one which is like individual element. Suppose you want to remove any specific element from the string, then remove will work. It's not to the range. Sorry for that. So the range would be like suppose I want to delete 10 from the list. Then I can say student list dot remove then 10. Found the member in the 10, then it will remove it. See. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is element on the list. Okay, it's not like the range. This is one range, and this is remove is for the element rather than the index. Okay,
Yeah,
make
Samir,
sense?
yeah, in pop also it remove the element, right? So what's the
No, no, no.
difference between two? Yeah.
No. Pop is something like this. So the pop will take without anything, then it will remove the last element of the string. Anything, whatever there in the last in the list. And if you
Okay.
and here we are giving the index, not the items. We are giving three. Three represents is not the value of the list. Three is represent as the index of the list.
Yeah, got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And remove is the item on the list. We are giving an item which is we are planning to remove. This is the difference between the pop and the remove. Okay,
Yes, Samir, got it. Yeah. Thank you.
make sense?
Yes, Samir, got it.
Yeah.
Samir, if we give 3 there now in place of 10
That
above.
three will be removed. The item
Okay.
three will be removed.
Okay.
Make sense? So we have pop del keyword who can go to the range, can do the remove. So this is one of the different ways. Another way is there, which is not that convenient, but still you can try it out. So what does it mean? So what I will do, I will again assign student list. I declare first all the 10 elements. Now what I'll do is that same variable I'm assigning one more time of -7. So I'm just overriding the same list again. So take the first 7 elements. Let's take in this example. Okay. So if I run the data structure now, I'll get the last 7 elements: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is also one more way to delete as well. So reassigning of the same list with the index. Make sense? This is, don't do that, but you should know this. But this is a costlier thing, because if you think like the list has having more than 100 elements, 200 elements, so your overriding means it is time consuming things. Okay, this makes sense. These are the 4 ways. So pop, then remove, del, and reassigning of the list. All right, any questions on this one?
So I just joined little late. Can you just briefly tell me delete and remove? I understood pop.
That's what. Please try to join as early as possible to everyone. Saying max, I will not take max 5 minutes later. Okay, I'll start at
Yeah.
5 minutes. So please make sure you can join in the 5 minutes only.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir.
It's a no problem. It's a request to everybody.
Just
Nothing.
briefly, yeah.
Del is a keyword. It will remove the list elements. Let's take I want to remove the last 7 elements from the list. So I will use del student -7. So -7 means what? It's -2, sorry, -1, -2,
Backwards 7.
-3, -4, -5, -6, and -7. So
Okay.
-7 to till end. This much
Okay.
element it will delete. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then suppose you want to remove individual elements. Suppose any specific element. Here I have a value
Oh.
called 10. You want
Okay.
to
Okay.
remove, then I can use the dot remove and 10. Here 10 is not an index. Just remember this point. Okay.
Okay, sir.
10
Yeah.
is a value inside the list, whereas in the pop, this is an index. And
Yeah.
the
Got
last
it.
one, reassigning. Okay, now these are the things. Now let's discuss few other methods. Like these are very common methods. Like let's take, I want to print the
Samir, one
length.
more quick question. Can I?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yesterday you had mentioned lists are immutable.
Lists are mutable, no? Not
Mutable.
immutable.
Okay,
Sorry.
I had that doubt. Lists are
Yeah,
mutable
yeah.
and strings are
Strings
immutable.
are immutable. Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
okay, thank you.
Okay, now another function, length. Length function. For run the structure, so it will say the what is the number of elements we have in the list. So we have 10 elements. This is called the length function. Len. Okay. Next, the same we can do your max, min, all these things also we can do on the list. Okay. So max, min. Okay. Let's run the structure here. So 10 is the maximum value and 1 is the minimum value. Now, these are the things. Max means sum also, you can do the sum as well. If this is an integer type of data we have available, then we can do it. So it will just sum up the elements for the next individual element. It will just sum up. Okay, very
Sir, I
simple.
have.
Nothing. Go ahead.
Sorry. Sir, in the remove, you said if you give any the value, it will remove. It will be removed. What if we have duplicate values? It will remove all the duplicate or the first occurrence of.
That's a good question. We can try that out. Yeah. So let's try that. So 10, 10. You're saying, right? Good question. This scenario is rarely possible in a list duplication, but let's try that. Okay, so student, but remove 10 here. Right, let's remove that. Let me print it. First occurrence. That's correct. So if you want to remove the multiple occurrence, then it will be through the loop. So
Okay, sir.
when the list will be getting used with the loop, we'll see in the next classes. So we'll start the loops. That time you can delete multiple items. All right. So max, min, sum, all these things is very simple. Now let's take an example of. I'm just changing the arbitrary numbers here. Okay. So let's take 10, 12, 1, 2, 4, 6, 9, 3. Okay. And let's discuss about the sorting of the list. And just remember, sorting is a very costliest thing. Okay. Unless until you are not sure on the sort, don't do that in your real time example, because sort, it takes time to do it, because it will shuffle all the elements, right? And it will start doing the either ascending or descending, whatever may you want to do it. So based on that, we can do it. Okay. So let's see how to do the sort. So we have a function called student list dot sort. Okay. And after that, if I print the value, print student underscore list. Okay. If you run this, it will just sort the order. Okay. And just remember this sort method, it's a permanent sort. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Permanent sort here. So it will just change the element of the list itself permanently. There will be no changes beyond that. So whatever the entry you have given, doesn't matter. If you use the sort method, then automatically it will change it. Okay.
Okay.
Another way, suppose you don't want to do the permanent sort or something like that, then we can do another way, that is called your. So let's take, I'm defining another list here. So let's take student underscore list one. I'm creating another list from the existing list itself. So I will say sorted. There is a function called sorted. Okay. Then I will say student underscore list. Okay. Here what happen is, once this is sorted, it will assign to one more variable here, one more list, and it will not change anything on the student list. Student list will remains as it is. So let's see that. So print student underscore, sorry, student underscore list one. All right, let's run this. So if you see here the output, this is your normal original list where how you entered, and this is the sorted one. Okay. So this is your, if you don't want to, you want to remain as it is the sort, you can use the sorted function. Okay. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, remove this, all these things. This will run it. Okay. You know this now. Now, another method which I want to discuss is called the reverse. Okay. That reverse also, it is like, it will just reverse the order of the, what you call, the list. Okay. So I will say student list dot reverse. Okay. Now, if I print this value, it will just reverse the order. How you enter the data, it will just permanently reverse the order of your list. Okay. This is called the reverse method. Any doubt up to here? What are the methods? All these things. Any questions? I'm not giving any example right now because I'm thoroughly going through the methods and all. Then when I will give the assignment, everything will be used on that one. Any questions?
No questions.
No
No.
questions. Okay. Okay. So this is called your reverse method. Now, normally, if you want to calculate the average of the list, okay. So right now, we are not talking about any libraries, how we can import. So existing Pythons, like in the sense, what is good my Python library in the sense, when you install something on the Python, right, and you start using it, there are some functions, some methods is inbuilt, which you can directly use it. And few things we want to use it, then we want to import the third party libraries for that. So to use that function. So I'm not discussing right now what is library and all, because there will be a separate section I will discuss that. So now suppose normally if we want to like get the average of the list directly, there is a no function until we export the math library from the Python. But we will not see right now. But suppose you want to calculate the average directly without importing anything, or directly we don't have any function, then normally how I will do it in this case is that I will do something like how I will do. So list dot, there is a function called list dot count. Okay, so it will take the number of elements on the count on the list divided by my length of the list. This is, if you don't have anything like the average function and all, you can do like this. This is an interview questions they will ask you. Okay, basic questions, but they'll ask you like how we can get the average of the item in the list. And you say that there is no library and all, so this is the way. So you can take the count of the elements in the list divided by the length of the items. All right, did that make sense? Are you good?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so this is about your list function and all. Okay, so now let's discuss about very important topic that is called your nested list. Okay, you can execute this also if you want. List dot count what? I list dot count exactly one argument zero. What is it? One argument zero given. Is it one? What is the argument here? Let me check. List dot mm, of value. Now, do we have a function called count also? No. Seriously, let me check 1 second. Student underscore list count. Yeah, what I did. Mm, count takes only one argument. Why? One time. Okay. Okay. We'll see this. Okay. Leave it the average part now. I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong here. Let's discuss the average tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, so now let's discuss about your nested lists. Okay, Nested list is what is very important. Why I'm discussing about the listed list is in this case is because I want to show you something as the copy methods. Okay, so that there are different copy methods we have, and to explain that we need a nested list so that we can understand the concept properly. Okay, what is a nested list here? So let's declare a nested list here. So nested underscore list. So it is something like list underscore list. Okay, so let's say I have a list here. Enter it. This is your end. Okay, one list, and inside that I can give multiple lists here. So each individual. So let's take A, comma B, comma C. This is your first element on the list. Second, I will say D, comma E, comma F. Okay. Then I will say let's take G, comma H, comma I. Yeah, sorry. So this will be this. Okay. You got the point? What is nested list here?
Yeah.
So each individual elements is called a list. So now let's see the. I'll ask couple of questions now here. Let's see. So now this is done. So now suppose if I say print nested list of 1, what it will give you?
D, E, F.
ABC,
A, B,
D,
C,
DEF, DEF.
D, E, F, sorry, D, E, F.
E,
So
D,
this is a
D,
index number. Okay, that's correct. Really brief. So this is a individual element on the index, but that is a again is a list. Now suppose from this list, which is at the first position, I want to take the individual values. So let's say I want to get the E only. Then how I will do it? What do you think?
it's a print nested list of one of one.
Correct. One of one. That's correct.
Yes.
And then we will get to the individual elements of this. This you need to remember always. Okay. So for the slicing, we can do it. So this is first index is for the first index on the list. Second, on that, suppose this is a list, then I'm talking about on that one the first index value. Make sense? No questions, right? We're good on this?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the based on this, which why I given, I will discuss this. So we need to discuss the copy methods, list copies. So basically there are three ways to copy it. Okay. First is your variable assignment. Second is the copy method, which is called the shallow copy. This is just remember this is also an interview question that what is shallow copy and what is deep copy. Okay, we'll discuss this. Shallow copy. Third is called your deep copy. We'll see the difference between these three. So when I'm talking about the variable assignment and all these things. All right. Now let's see the first way to get the variable assignment. So I have already a list. What I will do, I will create another list here. So let's take nested underscore list 1, okay, equals to my nested list. So this is the way we can copy it. Just assign variable assignment. Now if I print my nested list, and I will print my nested list 1, both. And if I run this, I'll get exactly the same value on both the list. This is the one way to copy this. Okay, making sense?
Yes.
First. So now let's see what I will do on the original list, on the listed list. I'll change the element of this. So what I will do on the first element of the string. So instead of the DEF, I'm talking about the nested list of 1 means DEF. Now, what I will do, I will change it. The value to, let's take X, Y, and G. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm changing it. So I'm not printing anything on the nested list 1 here. Let's see. So the first what I did, I just assigned, then I'm changing to the original list. So if I run this, I will, the changes is there on the ABC. We got changed the second position to XYG and GHI, whatever. That. Now if I want to print the nested list 1, what do you think the output would be on the
It
nested
will
list
be
1?
the previous one. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I.
No.
It's
But that is, yeah,
ABC, XYZ, GHI,
why it will be like this?
because it will change the index 1, instant DEF, instant XYZ.
But I have changed the index on the nested list, not on the nested list 1. Did I change
Yeah,
anything on the
but
nested list 1?
we assign to nested list 1, and I think it will be the permanent change.
No,
We
the
will change.
assigning happened after the change happened after the assigning. So I guess it won't change.
Let's see. See, it got changed. Before, after doesn't matter. So this is
Oh,
a
so it is
permanent
not
copy.
top down? Okay.
So why this is happening? This is happening due to when you assign this now, this to, okay, let me comment there itself, it will be understood. So whenever assign any list, right? So this list assigned to this list, then Python will allocate same memory for both the list. Okay, so it means the nested list and the nested list 1 are at the same location, same memory location. That's what whenever you are changing anything on the nested list, it is directly reflecting on the nested list 1. That's what it is doing when you are doing through the variable assignment things. Make sense?
Yes.
First part is clear? Okay, good. Now let's go to the copy method. Copy is the shallow copy. Okay, shallow copy means the reverse of this. It will not changes anything, it will not change. Let's see that. So now what I will do in this case is, instead of assigning directly the value, this part is clear, right? First part, yes. Okay. The next one is, instead of directly assigning that, I will use the copy method. I'm not assigning directly now. So I'm saying the nested list of 1 equals to nested list dot copy. Okay. Now I'm changing the same thing, I'm doing it. Nested list of 1, I'm changing to XYG and print both the values. Let's see. See the difference. Nested list, the first output is from the nested list. It got changed. Anyway, XYG is changing. But the nested list 1 remains as it is. What was the original one during the copy method? Got it? It makes sense?
Yes.
But there is a trick here. Why it is called shallow copy? Let me explain you this. So now here we have changed the index of first. So we are completely changed the first element, first index element of the list. Now what I will do, on the index 1, individual element I will change. Okay, so what does it mean? This part is clear, guys. Up to here it is clear. Variable assignment, copy, all of are clear. I need a like yes or no any statement. We are good. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay, I'm saying yes only from one side. What about others? You are silent or sleeping?
Kind of little confused, Samir. That's it. We'll keep
Yeah,
going.
Okay.
Get
I'm
it.
clear. I'm clear.
What is the confusion? Tell me.
No, no, I guess I will get to know it as you move on. So,
Okay. Now this part is clear. Okay. Now what I will do, instead of modifying, now I have modified the first index value from my original list. Okay. So this part got changed, and when I doing the copy method, it is not changing. So it still remains the original one. Now what I will do in this, on the first index of first, means which what I'm referring here. Can you tell
E,
me?
E.
E I am referring. Everybody. Now that I'm changing. That I'm changing to. So let's take key. Okay, so now I'm changing the individual element on the list. All right.
Hmm.
Now if you do that changes, let's see whether that changes is there or it will be not. Normally, if you say the copy, shallow copy, we saw that it will not traverse the copy things to the next list. But in this case, what happened is, see the changes. It got changed, right? On
Hmm.
both the list. So just remember this thing. That's why I have started with a nested list. This will never qualifies when you have a normal list. That's why I tried with a nested. Understand that in the copy method, when you are doing the copy method, when you are changing completely the index value, suppose first index, complete item you are changing it, then there will be no change from the source to the target. Okay? But when you have a nested list and on the first index we are changing the individual element, then okay, so that's why it is called the shallow copy, the reflection. Sometime it will not reflect, and one time it will reflect when you are changing the individual element of the index. And in case this is applies only in case of the nested list only. Make sense? This you need to always understand. Okay, this is
Okay.
I think this is from the practical perspective I'm saying. Okay, this is real time. We'll never saw this scenario anywhere the copy things. They will say copy is a shallow copy, but copy has a problem. This is the problem. Okay, make sense? Any questions? Do let me know here itself. We are good.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then the last one. Let me the last part. Let me do that. The last part. The last part is for the deep copy. So the deep copy is and we rarely use the deep copy. I'm saying very frankly. Okay. Rarely we use the deep copy because this is fine unless until the individual element is not modifying. Copy is very much open. There is no issue on. So for the deep copy, so deep copy is a function in libraries in Python, and that is not an inbuilt functionality in Python. So we need to import something to use this. So let me explain you how you can import a library to use the deep copy. So this will explain. I will explain later in a detailed way. But right now it is required. I'm just doing it. So I have a library called copy. Copy library is there in Python. From there, in that copy library, there is a function called deep copy that I want to first import it, then I can use that. So what I will do, from copy, there is a library called copy. From copy, import deep copy. So what does it mean? It is saying that from the copy library, please import the deep copy function. Okay. Now what I'll do, instead of doing all these things, I will say deep copy nested list of one. Nested list. Now, if you change individual element or the normal index element, there will nothing will be reflected here because this is a deep copy, complete copy. There will be no change. There will be individual. Both are individual copy of this. Now, if we change this, run the test here. See, then the first nested list I change the key, but the remains it is. Got it? This part is clear.
Samir, will you give it just with a list like D, E, F as you changed it to X, Y, Z for that deep copy?
How? Okay, yeah, you can do that. It's correct. You can try that as well. See, no changes. Alright. So, but to use the deep copy, we need to, this line needs to be there. Otherwise, it will not work because this is not an individual built-in function in Python. Deep copy. Alright. Any questions on the copy methods? So this completes of your list. How
Yes,
we can list. Go ahead.
yeah, I have one question. So, deep copy is same as shallow copy and copy, right? It's giving the
Ah,
two function in say
correct.
one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah,
So it's
correct.
not
It's a
permanent.
top.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
permanent. It's permanent now. It is, both are individual now. There will be no interaction between this. Suppose you are changing on the list, it will never reflect on the nested list. So you are
Yeah.
taking
Yes.
a separate copy itself.
Yes. But we are getting the original, so it's not permanent. It won't change the original
Yeah,
list, right?
yeah, that's
Yes.
correct. That's
Okay.
correct. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Both are individual now. There is no link between both the list.
Okay. So
In
yeah.
case of
Thank you.
deep copy. All right. So this is about your list methods. All the methods, just go through one by one. I will give some assignment on top of that. So these are the three ways we can do the copy: your variable assignment, your copy method, and your deep copy. Okay. All right. That makes sense. All right. So now let me create a new file and we'll start the tuples. So as you know, the list is a list. You understand how we will define the list. Another data type we have in the Python, that is called the tuple. The tuple, how to define the tuple, and we'll see what are the advantages, what is the disadvantages, all those things we'll see. Okay. So what is a tuple? Tuple is a data type of heterogeneous. Like in the list also, I can take any kind of data, right? So like that, tuple also can take heterogeneous data. But in this case, the tuple is immutable. Tuple is immutable and it is similar to the list, but only thing is it is immutable. Means I can't do anything like modifying something. How we have done in the list, right? Remove elements, copy elements, changing the elements, sort elements, all these things we have done it, right? So the modification we can't do on the tuple because tuple is immutable. All right, makes sense. But the question would be come up here, and same thing, I'm not discussing about the indexing, the slicing, everything remains same in tuple. And how to declare the tuple? So let's take an example. So let's take any item. Let's take purchase items. And how you are defining the list? Through the square bracket, correct?
Within within square
Yeah.
bracket, yeah.
When you are giving in a round bracket, then it's a step. Okay. So let's take I have purchased iPhone and it is price is let's say quantities I bought 10 quantities and for let's take 1200 price. Okay. So this is called a tuple when you are putting in a round bracket. So to confirm it, can say print type of purchase items. So if you run this, you get is a class is called a tuple. And on this one, we can do the indexing. Like this is 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index, slicing everything we can do it, but there will be no modification will be happening on the tuple. All right, that makes sense. Okay,
Yes.
but and it is more of a like a list only without the modification. Now question will be here very much is that why the hell will use the tip? It's the same thing I can do in the list, and there is the advantage of doing the modification, changing of the elements, everything I can do in the list. Then why the hell I will use the top? So we'll see the advantage of the tuple over the list. So the first advantage in this case is it will requires less memory. Let let's try to understand one thing in this requires less memory. I'll prove this. Okay. So what I will do in this case is let me comment this. It's not required for me, and I will take so to understand the memories, I will import another library just like in case of this one I'll import the from the copy I import the div copy, right? Like that. I have another library called import sys. There is a system library is there in Python. Okay. What happened here? Hmm. It got less more. Let's see that why it is. Okay. Import sys. Now import sys. Then what I will say, I'll create first as a tuple, and let's take this as a tuple, and the same item I will create as a list as well. So I'm creating the one as a tuple and then one as a list. Okay, same item. Now I'll print it, the item here. Okay, so let's take an f string here, and let's take an example of. So let's take the list is, and I'm taking a variable here. There is a function in the sys library. You can use it. So I will say sys dot get size of. Okay, there is a function on the sys library, get size of. Then I will say purchase item list that I'm taking. So this function is being used to see how much size or how much memory it is occupying in the memory. Okay, so I will say plus in the form of a bytes. Let's say how much byte is executed. Now the same thing I will run for the tuple also. Tuple is, so we can see this now, both the items. This is clear. Any questions on this 5 liners of the code? Do let me know. F string,
No.
you know that. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm just using the library function with the get size of to get the bytes. Now see, run tuple. See, list is taking 120 bytes and tuple is taking 64 bytes, right? So it's required less memories. Got it? The same item, we are just putting the same iPhone 10 1200, iPhone 12 1200. List is taking 1200 bytes, whereas 64 byte is the tuple. Make sense? Why it is taking 1200 bytes? Because when you are, sorry, 120 bytes, not 1200, 120 bytes. That's fine, but only 3 elements. Just imagine that when you have a like number of records is very high in the list, then it will require more memory. Why it is allocating more memory? Because when you are defining the list in Python, right, it understand that yes, sometimes you will remove it, sometimes you will delete it, sometimes you will add the item to the list. So it's a variable kind of memory. So what currently it is having, it will allocate more than that, because list is a immutable things. So sorry, list is a immutable thing. We can modify, we can add everything in the future. So that's why Python is very smart to allocate more memory to the list. But in case of the your tuple, because we tuple is immutable. Sorry, what I'm saying, yeah. So we can't change anything on the tuple. It's a mutable one. So it will allocate less memory to the tuple. So in this case, when you think that your data will not change anytime in the near future as well, then go ahead with the tuple only, compared not with the list, because it will require the less memory. First part is clear. We are good
Yes.
on this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, the next point on the tuple is execution quicker. In case of your the what do you call, in case of the tuple, the execution is faster. Okay, let me try. I didn't try this program for longer than. Let me check it. How you can check the timer, like how much time it is consuming. So for that, I think we have one library called time it. Yeah, I have a time it. So another library I'm importing here is called the import time it. Then, okay, now let's see. Let me print. There is a function called time it dot time it. Okay, then inside that, what I will do in this case is let's sum of mm, I'm doing something wrong or what? Let just give me a second. So time it dot time it. I think so. So let's say sum of the list. I'm taking, let's take list, okay? 10, comma 20, comma 30, comma 40, like this. Just give me a second, okay? I'm just understanding the syntax here. I think if I'm not wrong, this is correct only. And number equals to 10,000. Let me run this first, okay? And I will remove this part first. Mm, somewhere the syntax is wrong. What I'm trying to do here in this case is I'm just trying to sum up the list and I'm putting 10,000 times. That sum should be there so that I can understand that which is faster. Okay, that's the plan was. This is the syntax. Somewhere I'm missing the list syntax, but we can do like this. So instead of doing this, this will be a tuple because tuple, you know, it will be a round bracket, right? So both the elements you can run it. Let's do one more time. If not, we'll skip it and we'll come to the syntax later, or you can try later also. So this is okay. Sum of this. Okay, inside that this is there. Sum of 25 was. Can somebody identify the mistake on me in there? What is this all about? Because I'm running through the syntax error only. Was never closed. Anywhere I'm missing the bracket? Can somebody
Yeah,
identify
in
that?
the first, yeah, in the second row around the sum, there is a parenthesis that you have to close it here. Before the
Where?
10, before the 10, 10 on the same line, yeah, before the 10, after the
Yeah, it's
In the
sum, and then
square.
you have the parenthesis sum. After sum, you have a parenthesis.
So in second line,
where?
I think before 10 it should be square bracket, right? Or
Yeah, I think square bracket before
in
10.
Oh,
second
that's
line, in second line.
That's a tuple, so it is correct.
that's tuple.
Oh,
That's correct. This is
okay.
correct. Now that is not there.
Okay.
One second, let me rewrite one more time. So inside your time it, this is the time it, then I will do sum of,
In the below syntax, there should be two parentheses. There is only one after 40. So there should be one last there in the below in the second, there should be two parentheses after 40.
just let me check. One second. Let me comment this out. If this works, then I think we should. mm, Yeah, that's correct. Now I can change it out. So instead of this, I will make it as a tuple. Okay. Now let's run this. See the difference between the execution time of your same thing. 10,000 times if we are summing up the elements. The execution time, this is for the list and this is for your tuple. The tuple is less, right? Here we are taking only 4 elements. Just think of like there will be a n number of items are there and we are running through. So tuple will be faster compared to the list. Make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the first point is the size. Second one is your execution. Okay. Where is that program? I remove the size. Okay, you can take it from the your recording. I missed it, I think. Okay. Second, the third point is uh, reduce error, reduce user error. Why? Because we don't have any functionality of adding element, deleting element, sorting element. We are not modifying any element on the tuple. So there will be less error chances because just like a read-only things, right? So third point is this. And the fourth is like this we'll discuss, but not now. Like common functions output is as tuple. We'll discuss this fourth point when I will discuss all the other topics. But the most important thing is we need to understand here. If somebody asks you the why you will use the list over the tuple, okay, or tuple over the list. The first point is the tuple size. The size issue is there on the tuple on the based on the list. Tuple will take the very less space. Execution will be faster. And when you will use the list and when you will use the tuple. So when you are sure that your data will never change, okay, in the near future also, I will not modify, I will not delete, I will not do anything, then better to use the tuple only. Okay, and you are unsure about that, okay, there could be chance of adding any elements or something modification to the elements of that, then go with the list. Make sense? Do you have any questions on this?
No. Yes,
Good,
Samir.
No, sir.
we are good.
In,
Good.
yes, Samir. In real-time situation, do we have the situation using tuple? Because
Yes, we have, we have,
okay,
we have, because that's what I'm saying. When you have a, let's take let's say I'm running an employee profile. Okay, in an employee
okay,
profile, when you join date, the date of joining, suppose his PF number, okay, so those are will never change throughout the
yes,
career. So that
yes,
item is a tuple item only, and that will
yeah,
keep it the tuple because if that item you are keeping in a list, you know the memory will be higher, right? And
yes.
execution time also it will be higher. So why we will create a list out of that? So let's create a tuple only.
Okay,
Okay.
got it, Samir. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now the next one, and I will finish up today's class. That is called your range. So another type of data we have called the range. Very simple. Okay, range is something like you remember in SQL I have done the identity, then all the things I just explained you, that number sequence. Like it will start with 1, go to 10, all these things I discussed, right, in the SQL. Remember? Why you're so silent, guys, today? What happened? Hello? It's okay if you don't remember, that is fine, but you can say that yes or no at least, right? Okay. So let's say I want to create a sequence of the number. It will start with the 1 till 5, and it will step size will be 1. Like 1 to 5, I want to generate some numbers. Then I can use the range function. So let's see. Example underscore range. I'm just taking an example here. So I can use the range function. Range. It will take the start size, your stop size, and your step size. So it will start at 1, it will go till 5, and it will stop size. Now I will print. Here the trick. Normally we are doing a print, right? But when you print the range direct, it will not give anything. So let's try to do. Oh, I change it to 5, 1, 5. Sorry, like this. Now if I run this, it will just give you range 1, 5. That's it. That's what. When you have a range, right? And if you want to print it, the value inside that, either that range needs to be converted into a list or range needs to be converted into a tuple. Then only we'll able to get the element out of the range. So what I will do, I will take a list function here, list of example range. So what happened in this case is the range which you created will convert it into a list using the list function. Then if you run this output, then you will get the element 1, 2, 3, 4. Why you are getting 1, 2, 3, 4 here? Why you are not getting 5?
Always index -1.
Exactly. That you will always remember in Python. If you are giving 1 to 5, you are saying that it is 1 to 4 only. Okay? It's always -1. What the stop side, it will be -1. This range function, no? That's it. There is no example for range. But this range is very much helpful when I will discuss about the for loop or while loop, wherever I will do. Very much helpful in this case, the range function. And actually the implementation of the range will come using the loop only. Okay? Make sense? And I can do one more example here for the range. You understand this point? I can do one more like range. I'll say a range of length of system. So what will happen? Whatever the length it will be there, it based on that it will be. Let's print this. It will not give you anything. To say range of 0 to 5 because I have how many characters? 1, 2, 3,
5
4, and
characters.
5. So if you are not giving anything, it is starting as a 0 index. As you know that Python always start as 0 index, right? And if you want to see the data from this, then I want to convert either into a list or as a tuple. This time let's convert into a tuple. Okay, now if I run this, we'll get 0, 1, 2. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, yes. So I'm done for today.